Okay. Here we go. Well done. Yeah, I recommend 2 blocks. If you like a blanket under your knees for tabletop, then a blanket could work. Alrighty. Well, welcome both of you and folks online. I have kind of full body movement planned for us. We'll work towards moving at the pace of our breath. And as always, that means your breath, your pace. So invitation to just listen to your body, rest when you want to, or add in more if you want to. Yeah, and we'll get started in a child's pose. So bowing your chest down. If you want, you can take a block under your hips and or a block under your forehead to bring the earth a bit closer. Or if you're wanting to stretch your shoulders, you might take blocks under your hands to provide a little bit of a lift. And just notice the placement of your legs. The wider your knees, the more you'll feel as a hip stretch. Closer the knees, the more you'll feel this in the low back space. Take the first couple moments just to arrive and settle. First, just noticing how this transition is landing for you. Moving from chatter, from movement, from the whole day to this more still, slower pace. And as we get more still in the body, notice how this impacts your mind, your thoughts. Taking a moment here just to notice what you're bringing with you onto your mat tonight. And then shifting that awareness to any sensation in your body. If your awareness is guiding you towards an emotion, maybe you notice where you feel that in your body. Or you might move your attention through a body scan, just searching for information, noticing each part of you from your toes to your fingertips. And then bringing the attention now to your breath. No need to change anything about it just yet. First, just observing your breath. Letting yourself become aware of how your breath moves your body. The subtle expansion of your belly and chest as you breathe in. And that gentle, easy softening as you breathe out. You might notice the depth or shallowness of your breath. Maybe notice how your breath feels in this particular pose. And I'll guide us through 3 diaphragmatic breaths, optional to try. The first, we'll do a 2-part inhale and a 1-part exhale. So it'll look like the first part of the inhale, thinking about breathing in to fill up the low belly and the low back. The second part of the inhale, we'll think filling the chest to the top of the lungs. You might visualize yourself getting more and more full as you breathe in from the belly all the way up to the collarbone. And then the exhale will be a big sigh through the mouth. So when you're ready, just first find an exhale, letting your lungs empty, low belly contract. And then we'll start to breathe into the belly. Keep breathing in, fill the lungs all the way up to the top of the breath. Big, expansive inhale. And then open mouth, sigh out, exhale, let it go. Inhale to the belly. Inhale, chest. Big sigh out. And one more, just like that. Breathing into the belly first. And then filling all the way up to the top. Maybe letting this be the biggest breath in of your day so far. And then when you're ready, big sigh out. Let your natural breath return here. When you're ready, start to just massage your forehead against your block or the ground, whatever's beneath you. Eventually finding little wiggle of the fingertips and toes, just waking yourself up. Yeah. And if your arms are not outstretched, starting to walk your hands forward, eventually pressing down through your hands to roll up the tabletop pose. And if there's any adjusting that wants to happen here, maybe re-staggering your knees under your hips, checking in on the space between your palms, finding your centered tabletop, and then start to roll right into cat and cow. So as you inhale, dip the belly, take your gaze and tailbone up to the sky. Exhale, slow round and curl to cat pose, pressing your back of your heart up towards the sky. Tuck the chin and tailbone in. And then continuing to flow with your breath here. Inhale to cow, your exhale to cat. And if you'd like to add in any intuitive movement here, you might think rolling out circles with your rib cage, maybe switching the direction of your fingertips to stretch your wrists, maybe sitting back to child's pose. Anything that feels intuitive, good in your body. We'll take a few cycles of breath, just moving like you. Take your time. Next time you've completed an exhale, we'll meet back in a neutral spine. And then on an inhale, let's reach the right arm up to the sky, finding a little twist, opening your shoulder, your chest. You can make a fist with your hand, start to roll your wrist out a couple times. And then we'll spread the fingertips wide. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, thread the needle. You're going to pull the right arm between the left arm and leg and plant down on the outer right shoulder. Left hand can stay where it is, or maybe crawl forward. Maybe reach around for a half bind. Just take a couple breaths in whatever variation you've chosen. If the left hand is moved, we'll go ahead and plant it back under your left shoulder. And on an inhale, unwind, reach your right arm back up to the sky, open the chest. Exhale, tabletop pose. Right hand plants back down. And then we'll take that right to the other side. So inhale, reach your left arm up, open your chest here. Make that fist with your hand, start to roll out your wrist. Yeah, spreading fingers wide, big breath in. And exhale, thread it on through. Same options, different side. Notice if this side is calling for some other variation with the right arm, or maybe it's the same variation. Just checking in with that. Take a couple breaths here on this side. If the right hand moved, we'll go ahead and plant it back down. On your next inhale, let's unwind left arm back up. Exhale to tabletop pose. Left hand plants down. We're going to tuck the toes here and start to sit your hips back towards your heels, finding a little toe stretch. And we're going to come to a crouch at the back of the mat. So walking your hands back towards your feet, coming to sit up on your toes here. And just taking one breath here. When you're ready, slowly we'll lift the hips to a ragdoll pose. You can keep a really deep bend at the knees if you'd like here. Maybe so much that your belly rests on your thighs. And then option to interlace your hands at the base of your skull or grab hold of opposite elbows and take a sway from side to side. Noticing how the stability of your feet and kneading of the ground can allow you to release all effort from the upper half of your body. Maybe a couple big sighing exhales here. When you're ready, you'll bring the fingertips to the ground. On an inhale, take a halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Think crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone pulling back. So noticing the length and space of your spine. Yeah. Take one more breath in right here. And then as you exhale, forward fold, release your head back down to the ground, towards the ground. Inhale, halfway lift once again. Exhale, flow back down to your fold. And this time we'll lift all the way up. So moving through a halfway lift, keeping a strong, engaged back. We'll come all the way to stand and then sweep the arms out and up overhead. As you exhale, draw the hands to prayer, hands towards the heart space. Take one breath here. And then just drop your hands off by your sides, mountain pose. I'm going to take your gaze down to your feet. We're going to take a slow, mindful walk to the top of the mat. So, first, shifting your weight into your left foot, starting to lift your right heel, right toes, taking a little step forward, shifting your weight into the right heel, right toes. Left heel is going to naturally start to lift. Taking your time, feeling into each step. We'll meet at the top of the mat. Once you arrive, sweep the arms back up, take a big breath in. At the top, we'll grab hold of the left wrist and exhale to take a bend to the right. If you'd like, you can step your left foot out to the right. So kind of deepen this twist like a little curtsy. Feeling all that from the left pinky down to your left hip crease. And then we'll come back through center, breathing in, switching out your grip. And exhale, taking a bend to the left this time. Maybe stepping your right foot out to the left. This exaggerated side bend. And then coming back through center, take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your palms wide as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, we're going to plant the palms and step back to plank pose and keep the knees lifted or lowered. Feeling that resistance, pressing the earth away from you. A little lift between the shoulder blades. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. You can untuck your toes once you arrive. And then pausing here, press down through your toenails so your kneecaps float away. So the legs are really engaged. And then inhale to lift your chest, baby cobra. As you exhale, wave your spine back down. And then two more with your breath. Inhale to lift the chest, maybe float the hands. And exhale to let that go. And one more time to lift, maybe float the hands, maybe float the toes. And exhale, wave yourself down, come back to child's pose. Hips move towards the heels, take a bow, take a breath. And let's roll forward, tabletop pose. And then we're going to tuck the toes again, this time into downward facing dog. You just lift your hips up and back. Take a moment here to pedal out your legs if you like some movement. Maybe pressing one heel towards the earth and then the other. And just like in ragdoll pose, let your head get really heavy, maybe swaying it side to side or shaking your head yes and no a couple of times. And then finding your stillness, finding your down dog. Let's inhale through the nose. And then on the exhale, like you're fogging up a mirror, let some sound out. And one more, just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale like you're fogging up a mirror. And then one more like that. Inhale through the nose. This time, that same sensation on the exhale, but with the mouth closed to create that oceanic breath. So that breathing in and out through the nose, but creating some sound. And if you'd like, you can let that breath carry you through the rest of your practice. As you inhale, let's take the gaze between the thumbs, deep bend in the knees. As you exhale, walk to the top of your mat for your forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, extended mountain will rise all the way up to stand, arms reach high. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale to reach. And exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Plant your hands, step it on back. And knees lifted or lowered here. We'll take one breath in. As you exhale, we're going to shift forward and lower half or all the way down. You choose. And inhale, find a back bend. This can be baby cobra or maybe upward facing dog. And then exhale to downward facing dog. This series of movements, the Sun A sequence, will flow a couple more times, building heat. And this again is your breath and your pace. So I'll guide with words, but if your breath is slower or faster than my voice, move like that. We'll inhale to gaze forward, bend the knees. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Eyes up. Exhale, hands to heart, grounding back into yourself. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to your vinyasa. So we'll plant the palms and step back through plank, either flowing through a chaturanga or stepping straight to down dog is always an option here as well. Listening to what your body wants and needs each cycle. Yeah. And then from down dog, let's inhale to gaze forward, bend the knees. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Reach your arms up as you stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. And inhale, reach high. And exhale, forward fold. Let that go. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to your vinyasa. Plant the palms. We'll meet in downward facing dog on your next couple of breaths. Let's inhale to gaze forward and bend the knees. Exhale, travel to the top, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time on the exhale, we're going to step the left toes to the back of the mat, finding a lunge, and then lower your left knee down. Yeah, untuck the toes. We're going to press down through the right foot in order to rise up to a kneeling lunge or Anjaneyasana. Arms can reach up to the sky. Maybe they come out to your sides or your heart. And take a moment here just to kind of play around in the hips, maybe shifting forward and backward a couple times. Let's take an inhale, reach up, grab hold of the left wrist. Then we'll exhale to bend to the right, maybe deepening your lunge here if that's available. Inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, half splits. We're going to straighten the right leg ish and then bow over the right thigh. If you have your blocks and you like blocks in this pose, you can bring one under each hand. And then notice how your right leg is feeling. If you're wanting more sensation, you might play with flexing your right toes. Let's stay here and find a halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold back over your right thigh. Maybe there's more depth here. We're going to now lunge back into the right leg. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then on the exhale, we're going to come back to that half splits. This time, option to airplane wing your arms behind you if you want to play with balance here. And then two more on your own. Inhale to lunge and reach. Exhale to sweep it back. Maybe the arms float back with you, or maybe they come to your blocks. One more time with your breath. Inhale, lunge, reach. Exhale to take it back. Beautiful. And then here we'll crawl back into our lunge. So reframing the right foot. Let's tuck the left toes. Lift the left knee. So a runner's lunge, and then crawl to the long edge of your mat for a wide-legged straddle fold. Take a moment here. You can find a sway side to side or breathe in stillness. Yeah, let's inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, bow back down. Feeling into that connection between your feet and the ground. We'll inhale, halfway lift. This time, rise all the way up to a star pose, sweeping the arms out and up overhead. Yeah, fingers spread wide, taking up lots of space here. Let's take a big, full breath in. Exhale, warrior two. We're going to bend into the right leg, bring the arms out to a T. Take a moment to feel into your strong legs. And then think fingertips reaching forward and backwards so the arms are really engaged, gazing over your right fingertips. Maybe an inch or two more depth in the right leg if that's there. Staying here for one more breath in and out. And then next, inhale, reverse warrior. Keep that deep bend in the right leg as you reach up and back. Exhale to your lunge. We're going to cartwheel down, frame the right foot, dial the left toes forward, and then slide on back to plank pose or down dog. If you want to take a vinyasa here. From down dog, let's gaze forward, breathe in, bend the knees. Exhale, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, exhale, right toes are going to step to the back of the mat. And you've got that stability. We'll lower the right knee. Pressing down through the left foot to rise up. Kneeling crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana. Same options with the arms. Notice what's feeling best in your shoulders. And then just exploring how this side feels in your lunge, maybe shifting your weight forward and back a couple times. Let's breathe in, reach up, catch the right wrist, and then exhale, bend over to the left, maybe deep in your lunge. Inhale back through center. Exhale to your half splits. So straightening the left leg any amount, bowing your belly down to your thigh, maybe blocks under the hands here. Yeah. And then option, you can flex the left toes if you want to feel a little more in the hamstrings. And we'll inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, bow back down. Next inhale, we'll bend back into the left leg, sweep the arms up. And then exhale to your half splits. This time option to airplane when your arms behind you here. Beautiful. And we'll take two more just like that. We inhale, we lunge and reach. And exhale to shift back and balance. One more time. And then we'll reframe the left foot, bend back into the left leg. Gonna tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Runner's lunge into your wide-legged fold, this time crawling towards the other side of your mat. Yeah. And then same options, movement or stillness. Just take a breath or two here. From center, we'll take the fingertips to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Rooting through the feet, we'll inhale to lift and then rise all the way up to star pose. Arms come up and out. Fingertips are spread wide. Take a full breath in. Exhale, warrior two, bending into your left leg this time. Yeah. Taking a couple breaths here. Feeling your warrior two. Let's stay for one more full cycle of breath, in and out. And then next inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach the left arm up and back, keeping that deep lunge. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. We're gonna frame the left foot, nail all 10 toes forward, and then step it back through plank or straight to down dog. Always optional to take a vinyasa. And down dog is where we'll meet when you're ready. Let's take a full inhale through the nose. Big sigh out. We're gonna put all that together and then add in a little bit. So when you're ready, you're gonna walk the hands rather, back to your feet this time. So it's a forward fold at the back of the mat. And on an inhale, we'll halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time, inhale, chair pose, sitting the hips low. Arms, again, they can reach up if your shoulders feel good doing that. They can come to your heart. Think weight kind of shifting back into your heels here. You might even lift your toes. Let's take a breath in. On the exhale, we're going to sweep the arms straight back. An option to stay and breathe here, or if you'd like, you can shift your weight forward, start to come up on your tippy toes and straighten the legs. One more inhale wherever you are. And then exhale, chair pose. Take it on back down. We're going to bring our weight into the left foot. Inhale, one-legged mountain pose. Bring your right knee up with you as you stand. Beautiful. And then take us into tree. You're going to bring the right foot anywhere inside the left leg. You can keep your toes down as a kickstand to help you balance, or you can use your hands to bring your foot high, finding whatever variation's working for you. And then option to stay and breathe, or if you'd like to play with balance, you can grab your left wrist and take a little bend over towards your right leg. And that feels complete. We'll come back to that one-legged mountain. So right knee faces forward. And here we're going to take our eyeballs to the middle of the mat and slowly take a big step forward into your right foot. Airplane pose. Sweep your arms back, lift your left leg. And maybe you come in and out of balance here. Maybe you just notice all the little micro movements in the right ankle. Think chest and leg somewhat parallel to the ground. On your next inhale, one-legged mountain pose, this time the left knee comes up to your chest. And then we'll take our eyeballs now to the top of the mat. Take a big, slow step with your left foot forward, that mindful walk, meeting in mountain pose at the top of the mat. Take a full breath in. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left toes step back, finding that lunge. We'll pause here. Take a moment to feel your foundation. Spike up high on the left toes, firm in the right foot. When you're ready, we'll inhale to rise up to a high crescent lunge. Beautiful. Take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back once again, like airplane, but we're keeping the legs. Yeah. Airplane crescent. And then, like scissors, we'll inhale the left arm forward. So the arms are moving in opposite directions. Exhale, warrior two, cartwheel the arms open, really dramatic transition with the arms. Take a breath here. Next, inhale, reverse your warrior, reach up and back. And then exhale, star pose. Arms come up and out, heels come in, toes point out. Again, taking up space, full breath into your chest. As you exhale, we're going to take the hands to the hips and then hinge forward to your wide-legged fold. Yeah, you can bring your hands down to the floor. We'll take a couple breaths here. Dealer's choice. If you want, you can plant one hand underneath your gaze and take a twist on each side. You can bend into one leg and then the other. If you want to get upside down safely and you have an inversion, maybe you go there. And maybe you just stay still or sway. When you're ready, come back through center. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold back down. Yeah, inhale, halfway lift. This time, exhale, crawl to the top of the mat. You're going to reframe the right foot, finding your runner's lunge. And then step it back to down dog or find a vinyasa, stepping the right foot back to plank or maybe a one-legged plank. Yeah. In down dog, let's find a full inhale through the nose. Big sigh out. We'll flow that on the other side. So walking your hands to the back of your mat, find your forward fold at the back of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop your head back off. And then inhale to chair pose when you're ready. Hips come low. Weight is shifting towards your heels. Yeah, maybe floating your toes here. Find a big breath in. Exhale, chair plane. Sweep the arms back. Option to stay here, find your drinking bird. Shifting your weight into your toes, lifting your heels, and then maybe straightening the legs. One more breath in. Exhale, chair. Sit back down. You're going to bring your weight into your right foot this time. Inhale to rise up, one-legged mountain pose. The left knee hugged in this time. Yeah, and then make your way to tree. So the left knee opens out. You can dip your toes down to find a kickstand and balance, or you can slide your left foot any amount up your right leg. You can keep your eyes kind of fixated on something that's not moving to help with balance. Or if you want to challenge balance even more, you can close your eyes. And then option to catch hold of the right wrist, side bend over to the left. You're going to unwind on an inhale. Take your left knee up with you. And then gazing to the middle of your mat, take that big step forward. We're going to come and launch into our airplane pose. Balance on the left leg, sweep the arms back, sweep the right heel up. And the back is really active. So pinkies are squeezing towards one another, long neck. On your next inhale, slowly rise to one-legged mountain pose. Keeping the balance in the left leg, right knee hugs up. And then take your mindful walk to the top of the mat. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step the right toes back as you exhale. And then we'll pause here. Take a moment to find your footing. Can help to walk the feet a little wider to help with balance. And when you feel ready, we'll rise up to high crescent lunge, arms sweep up or out. Yeah, a big breath in. Exhale, sweep the arms back, your airplane crescent lunge. As you inhale, right arm comes forward. Exhale, open it out to your warrior two. Cycle of breath here. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale, star pose. Yeah, shifting to face that long edge of your mat, reaching out with the arms. Take a big breath into your chest. And then exhale, bring the hands to the hips and then hinge forward into your straddle fold. Fingertips come down. Once again, dealer's choice. We'll take a few cycles of breath here, moving or staying still, however feels authentic. Take the fingertips down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll take it to the top of the mat, reframe your left foot, dial every toe forward. And then optional vinyasa, stepping the left foot back, maybe one-legged plank, maybe we skip it and move right into down dog. And then when that's complete for you, we'll meet in child's pose. No rush to get there. And here in child's pose, take a moment to tune back in. Once again, supporting yourself with props if you'd like. Checking in with your thoughts, your physical body, your breath. Just notice if anything's shifted from the movements that you've made thus far on your mat. And we'll take a few more breaths here in child's pose. If you'd like, you can count a 4 count inhale and a 6 count exhale, just slowing the exhales, slowing everything down. Let's take one more breath in child's pose. And when you're ready, we'll roll back up. We're going to come and meet in a seat. Take your time getting there as well. When you do, we're going to find a tree pose in the legs. So the left leg is going to come out at a diagonal, and the right foot's going to come inside the left leg, anywhere along the leg. Then from here, let's take the left hand to the inside of the left leg, find a little resistance, and then open your right arm out for a twist. If you want to involve your neck here in the twist, take your gaze over to your thumb. One more breath into this resistance, an active twist. And then when you're ready, let's melt the right arm up overhead, take a side bend. If the left arm feels good, leave it where it is. If you'd like more support, you can bring a block outside your left knee and rest your elbow there on that block. When you're ready, we'll rise back up. And then we're going to rotate to face the left leg. Take a breath in. As you exhale, fold any amount over your left leg. This can be just an inch or two, or maybe you bow forward. You can use your blocks to support your arms if you'd like. Let's stay here for one more full cycle of breath in and out. And when that's complete for you, we'll start to walk the chest back up. And then we're going to plant the right hand behind the right glute. Yeah. And then just start to lift your chest and reach your left arm up to the sky. Just a little counter stretch here, opening the heart. You can stay here, or if you want to take stargazer, you can roll onto your right shin, lift your hips up. And then realigning the spine when you're ready. Let's extend the right leg out. So we're in a V shape with the legs. Just for a breath or two. Yeah, you can flex your toes if you want, or you can bend your knees quite a bit if you'd like that. Take an inhale. Exhale, stay or fold. Choose. One more breath cycle. And then gently walk yourself back up, lifting the chest. And then we're just going to slide the left foot in to meet the right thigh or knee. Once you got the legs, we'll bring the right hand inside the right calf. And then left arm leads you into your twist. As much or as little as you'd like here, keeping that connection between the right side, using that to kind of leverage this twist. Maybe gaze over to your left thumb. When you're ready, let's melt into the side bend. So the left arm is going to reach up and over. Option to bring your block outside your right knee this time and rest your arm there. And we'll come back up when you're ready. This time we're going to rotate to face your extended right leg. Take a breath in, find some length in the spine, and then exhale to fold any amount over your right leg. Take one more full breath here. And then when you're ready, walk yourself up. We'll take that counter stretch. So the left hand's going to plant behind your left glute. You're going to reach your right arm up and lift your chest. An option to stay here or lift the hips and roll onto your left shin for stargazer. When you're ready, we'll lower on down. And this time we'll bring the soles of the feet together. If your hips are tight, you can place blocks under your knees, or you can extend your heels further away from you. If you're wanting more sensation in the hips, you can bring your heels closer. Let's find a tall spine. And then exhale, stay lifted or fold any amount forward. Always you choosing how much you want to feel here in the hips and letting that guide your choice. Being with this for one more breath, in and out. When you're ready, use your hands to gently lift up. And then we'll plant both feet on the floor. Hands can come behind you, just a little windshield wiper of your knees. When you're ready, we're going to come to lie down. So, no fancy way of getting there, just lowering yourself down when you're ready, making sure that one of your blocks is within reach to get there. Mm. And then let's stamp the feet on the floor about hips width distance apart. We're going to grab for a block. And then we're going to find a supported bridge pose. So lifting the hips, slide your block underneath you to land your sacrum down on your block. And then let all your weight settle there into your block. You can imagine all of your effort pouring into that one spot. Let yourself feel heavy. You can keep your feet down, or you can take legs up the wall if you like. When you're ready, we'll come out of this the same way we came in. So pressing down through the heels, lift your hips just an inch or two higher, slide your block away, and then slowly lower down until the whole back is on the earth. And then if you want, you can let your knees fall side to side once again, finding some release in the low back. And then when you're ready, you can hug your both knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Uh, Options here, you can draw circles in the air to massage your low back. You can part your knees away from one another to stretch the hips. Or you can find a happy baby pose if you want to stretch the hips more deeply. And stay with whatever you're working on for as long as you'd like. When you're ready, we'll come to our final resting pose. If there's props that you want to use to support you, go ahead and set yourself up. If you're noticing that you wish you had something that you don't have, let me know and I'll bring you a blanket or bolster. Once again, noticing this transition, just like we started our practice from going about our day or evening into stillness. Notice that here on your mat, going about your asana practice, your movement to stillness or close to stillness. And then ask yourself if there's anything that would be supportive in this transition for you. Maybe shifting your body in some small way. Maybe another big breath in and out. And know that I'll guide us to move on when it's time. You can clear your thoughts, feel the impact of your effort washing over you. Give yourself permission to rest in Shavasana. Gently guide your attention back to your breath, allowing your next inhale to be a little more full. And then the exhale, long and complete. And when you feel ready, start to rock your head side to side. Eventually, finding some movement in the fingertips, toes, wrists, and ankle. And then notice what your body wants, how your body wants to rise to maybe take a good morning stretch. Maybe you rock to one side first and pause, or rock and roll the length of your mat. In your own time, letting yourself find a seat. And then bringing your attention to your heart space. If it feels authentic, you bring your hands to prayer or stack your palms over your chest, or just keep your attention there in that space. And we'll close out in gratitude. First, gratitude for self, for your wise body, for showing up on your mat this evening. Let's take a big breath in, gratitude for self. Exhale to share that energy out. Next, gratitude for this community here at Flow. Inhaling gratitude for community. And exhale to send that out. And lastly, I thank you for trusting me to guide your practice tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I know. Let's turn this into a sleepover. I'll turn the light on a little bit.